Greetings, it's Reverend Ahmondra coming to you from the place where the queens always speak their truth. You know, it is not easy being a black woman in America. And right now, I am done. I had an incident occur a couple of months ago, and I didn't say anything about it, but today I'm going to address it because too often black women have to take the brunt of somebody else's anger. I'm driving in my car. A group of high school students, white, are coming down the street on these motorized bicycles. I'm making a left turn and I see that I have enough time to make my left turn and make them be safe. Well, one of them decides that he didn't think I should make that left turn. And so he calls me a effing N word. And everything from my past history in this country flared up in my face. And in that moment, I realized this country has not moved very far at all. This was a high school student. This wasn't an old man. And he felt okay calling me not only the N word, but an effing N word. That to me is totally, completely disrespectful, but he is learning that in his home. He is learning that in his society. Why is it that black women have the highest incidence of heart attacks? That's what's killing us because our hearts are hurting. And our hearts are hurting because we are nurturers. We are kind. We are loving. And for 400 years, we have been bombarded. And I want to talk about three ways we have been impacted and what it's doing to us and what I want to do about it as a solution. So when I say it ain't easy being a black woman in America, I'm talking about the fact that we are invisible. Have you ever been walking down the street and a white person just bumps into you? Sometimes they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you." Or sometimes they don't say anything. It's like we are invisible. Our person is invisible. Invisibility makes a person feel unheard, unseen, like they do not exist. We are unheard. Our voices go unnoticed. Even inside of our environments, in our homes, in our relationships, we're not heard. We can say something over and over again to our partner, and they ignore us like they don't hear us until what we say to them comes true. And then they come to us for what? Support. And it's not even a question of whether we're going to help them. The question is, how much are we going to help them? Because it's just assumed that we will help them, even though we have been saying to them, do this, don't do that. This is what I see. They don't hear our voices. We are invisible. We are unheard. That hurts our heart. We are unheard in the professional world. We can go in and we can speak to our doctors, and they don't hear us. They decide that they're going to take care of us according to how they want to take care of us. I remember after my hysterectomy, I went in to see my doctor and I couldn't walk. It was painful for me to walk. So I went in a wheelchair. And when he came in the office, the wheelchair was off to the side and I was sitting on the table. And he looked at the wheelchair and he said, "What is that doing there?" And I'm like, I was in a wheelchair. It hurts to walk. He's like, "Oh, you don't need a wheelchair." I looked at him. I want to say, "So have you ever had a hysterectomy? Has somebody ever cut you open and taken out your vital organs? Do you know how it feels?" But he was a white man. So in his mind, it didn't matter that I said I'm in pain. In his mind, I wasn't in pain. I didn't need a wheelchair. We aren't listened to. What we say about our bodies is ignored. The effort that it takes for us to be seen and heard wears on us. That's one of the areas I said we are always being bombarded. As a Black woman, we are often dismissed. I know many of you have been in situations, professional situations, where you voice your opinion, you give your idea, and it's dismissed. And then the person sitting across the table, who is male and white, gives the same idea, and it's praised, and he's acknowledged. And you're just sitting there saying, okay, that was my idea. I verbalized it, but I was dismissed. And when we are dismissed, we have this internal battle with ourselves because we better not say anything about it. We have to be cool, be quiet, never let them see us sweat because then they label us with their label. We all know what that label is, the angry Black woman, ignoring the fact that we were dismissed. And yes, we should be angry because if they were dismissed, they would not accept that, nor would they stand for it. But because of the way we look and because of who we are, we have to suck it up and accept it. It's like we are constantly minimizing our existence to make others comfortable. And you know, that happens in our family. To make peace, we are often quiet. We don't say things that need to be said because we want peace and harmony. But other people in the family can say what they want, particularly in a disrespectful way to us. It hurt my heart when I heard one of my good friends talk about the fact that she felt so disrespected by her grandchildren. These are grandchildren that she raised, and they are disrespecting her because they feel that it's okay. Her existence as a grandmother is dismissed. And it hurts her heart because she was raised by her grandmother and she revered her grandmother. She loved her grandmother. She would never do anything to disrespect her grandmother. But that is not what's occurring with her grandchildren. Black women are often underestimated. It doesn't matter if you have a doctorate. You are looked at as if you are incapable of doing whatever that task is in front of you. Or if you are in a position of authority, there will be others who do not look like you sitting at the table that will underestimate you just because of the way you look. And I want to also call attention to the fact that when we are heads of agencies and something happens, automatically we are expected to step down from that position for the greater good. But you can have someone who's male and doesn't look like us be at the top of an agency, then the agency falls apart and they will not step down. And no one will expect them to step down because they are not underestimated like Black women are. There is this societal belief that we are inherently less than. I remember out of high school, I went to a job interview from a temp agency to be a receptionist. I could type, I had awesome skills, communication skills. And when I went to the job to be interviewed, a white man took me all around the offices showing me where the garbage cans were so that I could empty them as part of my job description. Now, we all understand and know that they have professional cleaners that come in at night to clean up the offices. But because of what I look like, he dismissed the fact that I had a high school diploma and decided he was going to turn me into the office cleanup girl just because of the way I look. And when I went back to the temp agency and they asked me how things went, I looked at the woman and I said, I think he wants a housekeeper because he wanted me to go around and empty all the garbage cans. She was a white woman. She immediately picked up the phone and called him and told him, if you wanted a housekeeper, that is what you should have told me and I would have sent that to you. She understood that this young Black woman who was qualified for that job, who she sent out for that job, had been underestimated and dismissed. It is time for us to stand up collectively and acknowledge the systematic attack against our personal existence. Next year, 2025, I am creating a community. It's called the Queen's Power Circle, a place for us to come and just speak our truth, whatever that truth may be. There will be no judgment. There will be no advice given unless you ask for that advice. There will be no workshopping. It is our responsibilities, my sisters, to begin to take care of ourselves. We are dying from heart attacks, high blood pressure, diabetes, and it's all because of the attack on our personhood. When you know your power and you understand how it is being attacked, it gives you the ability to stand up and to move forward in your life. As we move forward, I invite you to come and join us in the Queen's Power Circle. The link for you to register is in the description. It is our time to confront, speak, and reign as the queens that we are. So, like I said in the beginning, it ain't easy being a black woman in this country. So, I want all of us to come together and to begin to dialogue about that so that we can strengthen each other through community. It's up to us to take care of us. I add a blessing to each and every one of you. And whatever you're going through, know that there's somebody out there holding you in prayer. Never doubt that your ancestors aren't walking with you. They are there. Blessed.